Alright guys, got another NPC upgrade build for you today, and today I'm bringing you V6 Maeterlinck's AC. Now, the other day on stream, I was just kind of messing around with different NPC's ACs, and I saw Maeterlinck's and I was like, immediately just like, I really liked her AC's design. Visually, it looks really good. I like the color palette. It looks sick, right? So I decided to give her a bit of an upgrade because, quite frankly, she desperately needs it. And the core of the issue is going to be her two primary weapons, the double-triggered pulse guns, right? Those guns, quite frankly, they suck. They're terrible. There's some argument that they're going to be useful for, dealing with pulse shields, but quite frankly, I'd rather have just about literally any other weapon instead. Personally, even against pulse shields, they're just really bad, right? And she's using two of them. Now, her shoulder mounts aren't actually that bad at all. She's got the plasma cannon on right shoulder and a shield on the left shoulder, right? But it's not the core shield, so she can't actually fire both guns while having the shield deployed. I assume that's because the pulse guns do have they do overheat really quickly and they take a while to cool down. So I assume the idea of her build was to sort of just get out her pulse gun shots and then hold the shield up. But that unfortunately doesn't change the fact that the pulse guns are bad, right? So you've already noticed in the background, but I did decide to keep her double triggered, and I decided to go with the Rubicon Research Institute plasma rifles, right? And these plasma rifles in particular are really nice. You can fully charge these and fire them repeatedly, and they won't overheat ever, right? You can basically fire these at maximum speed, fully charged, and they will never overheat. They have massive AoE. They do tons of damage, and they're just really good weapons all around, right? They do drain a lot of energy, and because of that, I did have to change her frame's core. I needed a core with better generator output, sadly. Kind of sad about that because I really liked how her frame looked. So I was sad I had to change it, but it is what it is. But other than that, it's actually turned out to be a really fun build. Actually, honestly, like literally one of my favorite builds in the game right now is literally just 4 plasma, like 2 plasma rifles and 2 plasma cannons on the shoulder, right? I love this build so much. It's a ton of fun to play. But let's go ahead and stop talking about it. Let's go ahead and get into the assembly details, and we'll go over some more specifics. Getting into the weapons first, of course, we've got the 2 Nebula plasma rifles, the Rubicon Research Institute rifles. Now, again, these are really good, specifically for the reason that you can fire them basically infinitely. If you do fully charged shots, they won't overheat. They're really nice for this. They don't do quite as much damage per like individual shot, at least for the uncharged shots, right, as the regular plasma rifles. So you can argue that these are better in some situations if you just want to rapid fire shots. But personally, I like the Nebulas way more, but that's a personal choice. If you actually prefer these ones, they actually do use less energy, so you can actually use her original core. So if you want to do that instead, feel free to do so. But I personally prefer the Nebula plasma rifle far over the regular V.VI 760 PR plasma rifle, right? Now, getting into the back units first, I've just left her with the plasma cannon. I mean, it's the only plasma cannon, so and I decided just stick with this theme of just running plasma weapons, right? I feel like I wanted to mess with that, so I just left her plasma cannon alone. And I did change her shield. I don't remember which shield she uses originally. It might be this one. No, I don't think it is. She uses one of these shields, but I gave her the coral shield for the specific reason that you can fire your left-hand gun while having this shield deployed, right? You can't use a melee weapon while having it deployed, but you can fire a gun while keeping it deployed, and this gives you it's just really nice, right? I really prefer the coral shield over all the other shields for this exact reason, so I gave her the coral shield for this specific reason. And that's the only real reason why. And there isn't really much else to say about the weapons, so let's go ahead and get into the frame. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, I only made one small change to her frame, but let's go over everything. First, she's got the head, the Noctra her head. This is a pretty good head. It's got good attitude stability. It's pretty light. It is pretty, a bit high on the energy load, but it's a good head overall. I didn't see any particular reason to change it, because also it's a really cool looking head too. Now, the core is the one thing I changed. It originally has the VP40S core, but you'll notice just simply don't have the energy output to support this core because it doesn't have super high energy generator output, right? So I did give her the Mind Alpha core instead. It's not that different in appearance, and I also think it looks better than the Ephemeral core, which is kind of the other option here. Even if it is a little bit heavier, got better attitude stability and whatnot, right? So the Mind Alpha core seemed like the best option, and it also was the best looking option. So there you go. That's the reason I'm using that. Now for the arms, she has to conduct her arms. Again, no reason to change this. Lightweight arms. They've got really good firearm specialization. Look cool. Literally no reason to change them. And finally, the VP422 legs. These are really, really good legs. They're lightweight. They don't have a big energy footprint. And they've got really good carry capacity, like load capacity for their weight. Really good legs. Again, literally no reason to change these out. And yeah, there you go. That's not really much to say about the frame. Pretty much all her parts are really good parts. Just her original core didn't have quite enough energy output for the changes I wanted to make, right? That's all it is. And yeah, that's it for the frame. Let's go ahead and get into the internals. Now, Maeterlinck's original AC is fairly mobile, so I did decide to keep it that way. So of course the option here is going to be the gills for the boosters at least. Now the Alulas, the build's just simply too heavy for the Alula boosters. And, you know, the gills are basically the only other competing option here for this slot in terms of a high mobility booster, or at least a high quick boost mobility booster, of course. So the gills were the option here. Now for the FCS, I've actually kept up with her original FCS, FCS G2 P05. This is a really, max medium range assist FCS. And the reason I decided to leave it this way and not just use the Talbot like I do in every other build is because you just don't really need close range assist very much on this build at all. Even if you're in close range, the plasma rifles are basically just energy grenade launchers, right? They make a big explosion. So you don't really need the close range assist that much. The medium range assist is far, far more valuable in this case. So I decided to again leave her with her original FCS for once because, it's got that maxed medium range assist, of course. And then finally, for the generator, we're going with the NGI 000. We just simply needed this much energy output, and it's also, or the two generators with this much energy output, it is the lighter option, right? This is the only other generator that competes with it energy generation wise, but this generator is really, really heavy. In fact, too heavy for the VP legs. So the coral generator was the obvious option here. And yes, the only thing that fits pretty much, right? I think literally, but other than, again, well, that one, yeah, again, other than this one, there's no other generator that supplies enough energy. And the other one's just too heavy, right? So yeah, there we go. I also did give her an expansion because she doesn't actually have an expansion. I decided to go for assault armor. It's the best option in PvE in my opinion. For PvP, it's a different story, but for PvE, I do feel like assault armor is the best option. If you wanted to take this build into PvP, I'd probably go with pulse armor instead. But yeah, assault armor. There you go. Now that's going to be it for the video. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one. Now, before I go any further though, there will be gameplay footage after this. However, there are minor spoilers if you haven't completed all routes of the game, so be aware. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Let's go.
6-2, do you read me? I'm cutting out.
Handler Walter. Another hindrance to the project. Leave him to us.
Huh? That's the independent mercenary. Wait, something's up. Are we being jammed? The signal. Both ACs were destroyed, but all is proceeding as planned. Yes, of course. That's what the independent mercenary...
Confirmed. It's way too soon. We're clear. Target ambush. Enemy counter.
The independent mercenary raid. Leave it to a bug to sniff me out. Come find me. There you are. Just like they said. You're gonna die, freelancer.
Additional hostile signature. I see. It's gunfight Iguazu.
Becky, what are you doing here?
The guy from the Iceworm mission with a stick up his ass. It's my lucky day. I don't like you either. I'll kill the both of you.
Dogs, you'll die together.
I'm nobody's dog. That damn noise again.
Wanted human C4621, Raven. Well done. Now you are one with us. Welcome to All Mind.